And thinks COVID is hoax. Skips my wedding. My wedding was a few months ago, but happened while restrictions were lifted. It was legal to have an outdoor gathering of 50 people, and we made sure to distance chairs and wear masks. Thankfully, nobody got sick. I invited my aunt and uncle, but could not invite my 12 cousins. My uncle calls me 2 days before the wedding, insisting that if I didn't add 12 chairs, my aunt wouldn't come. I explained that it was illegal and impossible, and to please understand. They did not, explaining that COVID is a hoax, and decided to skip my wedding in indignation. Probably for the best. Cue petty revenge. My aunt had given me measuring spoons, so when I sent my thank you note, I wrote the following. Thanks for the spoons. We're sorry you couldn't make it to our wedding, but we completely understand wanting to avoid gatherings during this time. She hasn't talked to me since. I had a lot of relatives that threw similar fits about our downsized wedding and decided not to attend. Oh well, the fewer the better in this situation. How thoughtful of them to not attend, saving you the hard decision of who not to invite. Yes, especially because they chose not to attend because we required masks. Much better than having them crash the wedding with no masks and make a scene. Haha, nicely done. Congrats on your wedding. Measuring spoons, wow. And she wanted 14 fed. Realistically, I don't think many people could afford to give a better present than measuring spoons with 12 children in their household. I assumed it was all of their cousins from that side of the family and they just didn't invite any cousins at all. Not that they were all children of that end. I've got a cousin with 15 kids, so my first take on this was the opposite. My cousin also thinks COVID is a hoax. It feels like a familiar type of COVIDiot. 15 planned or unplanned. Same partner or different partners. I mean, the directions on the back of the box of condoms are pretty clear and the item itself should be easy to figure out. I know some people in similar positions. Living in a 3-bedroom house, using the older ones as slaves to raise the younger ones at the expense of the older ones' educations, socialization, and participating in life. They specifically try and sabotage the kids' college applications as there goes childcare. Sabotage is in call the college applied for and say yes it's me, cancel that application. You can also guess who found out they already had a bunch of unpaid loans and credit cards when they tried to get some assistance. Loans and credit cards their mom took out. It's awful. Especially when they are crazy and buy into the vaccines cause autism and Sandy Hook was crisis actors and COVID is a hoax speak. What chance do the kids have? I'd hope they do the only thing they can do, get that off of their credit, call the police, and have them charged with identity theft. Unfortunately, as mentioned, certain education levels and social awareness is lost when a child is raised to essentially be a proxy parent. The child could either be indoctrinated and not want to hurt the parent, or they may not even realize it's something they can pursue legally because parent did is and parent is boss. So I can't argue. Dishing out petty revenge, 1 tablespoon at a time. That was super backhanded, and I love it. This is exactly the level of petty snarkiness that I aspire to. Bravo. And congrats on your wedding. I don't get it. Me neither. I feel slow. Can someone break it down? Op couldn't invite everyone because of crowd limits due to COVID. Aunt doesn't believe in COVID and is mad at everyone isn't invited due to a hoax and chooses not to come. Op pretends that Aunt chose not to come because of COVID. Aunt gets mad. Oh, got it. Thanks for the explanation. Win-win. Exactly. Who gives measuring spoons for a wedding gift? That might work in a basket with other household items for a shower gift. I don't know. Maybe I'm entitled. I had one of my guests not give me a gift at all. I know the rules though, and I didn't invite people based on whether or not I'd get a gift. For all I know, money was tight and she didn't want to talk about it. I feel like the aunt was being petty though. Yeah, I try to always assume the best, but the month after the wedding she and her husband bought a literal private jet, presumably so that she could vacation to Hawaii without mandated quarantine. I guess you have to save money to make money. Well, now I see that they are able to afford 12 children. Brilliant response. Your words hit her right on her hoax-filled head. Bonus points for not having to listen to her views that are so contrary to all kinds of visible evidence. Congratulations on your recent wedding. Thank you. Congrats on your wedding. And you are my level of petty. Thank you. Ha ha ha. That is such an amazing response. Love it. Ha ha. Use the 1/4 teaspoon to measure how much you care about her ever being in your life again. It's for the best indeed. I love the justifications people use for hosting a wedding during a pandemic. I enjoyed the thankfully, nobody got sick. Right? That she knows of. How peeping dumb are people that they can't understand the concept of asymptomatic carriers? We've only been hearing about it for a goddamn year. Lamau shaming someone for calling COVID a hoax while having a big gathering. Right? The mental gymnastics here are impressive. I love the cope about how having less of your family share this moment with you and your new spouse is somehow better. Not sure whether to say good job, Doob, or good job, Goob. DoobTheGoob. Congrats on the measuring spoons. Thank you so much. Pretty life-changing. Genius. Hope your party went well at the risk of lives. Sounds like they took reasonable precautions. If the whole affair is outdoors and people are distanced and wear masks, from what we know about COVID, that should be safe. A spoonful of honey makes the medicine go down. Congratulations on the marriage. Subtle revenge. What's wrong with measuring spoons? It's a gift. If you expect people to give you something big and expensive, then it's not really about celebrating the event but about the gifts. Maybe it's just me. Based off the context, the measuring spoons were not an actual wedding gift, just something given at some point in time and used as a plot foil for the revenge. Damn, didn't think of it that way. Thanks for the perspective. My wife 65F and daughter, 32, were invited to a baby shower for a niece sister-in-law's first grandchild. They invited 50 people for an illegal party in a restaurant that was ignoring indoor dining bans. We opted not to attend. Sister-in-law got totally pissed at us, but we are just fine with that. Your wife and daughter are selfish for not risking their lives to fund someone's desire for a baby. Absolutely. I know this now. My mill went to my sister's bridal shower and wedding, 100 people. Outside in tent but not distanced and no masks, but then gave me a hard time for proceeding to have a baby shower open house where over the span of 2 hours, people can stop by with masks and say hi. She's something else at times. Weddings are expensive. Why would you expect someone to pay for 12 extra seats? Unless they have some close bond to me, I wouldn't invite them. My sister is having her wedding next year and won't be inviting kids. I truly love this petty revenge. No recourse is possible because you were so polite. Nice. Measuring that old saying to mind. An ounce of prevention. Love the fact she gave you spoons, just reminded me of that spoon theory thing Christine Misrandino. By not taking their bull speep, you've got extra spoons, both literally and metaphorically. Congratulations on your marriage and your spoons. My school mandated that there be no parties over 10 people, so I got the micro wedding I always wanted, backed by law. 12 cousins? I'm assuming cousins and second cousins, etc. Still, that's wild. 14 people from one branch. Is that a lot for where you're from? I have 67 first cousins from one side and 75 from the other. 12 seems like it's 1 or 2 people's worth of kids. Didn't seem petty at all. Actually quite classy. Where is the petty revenge here? You did nothing revenge-like at all. She pissed off her COVID-denying aunt by insinuating the aunt didn't come to the wedding due to fears of catching COVID. No loss. That there are idiots today. I learned Elle insisting it's a hoax, all over the world. After all this. Feed me drunk. There are idiots in hospitals claiming it's a hoax shortly before they stop breathing. You dodged a bullet there, X. Send the spoons back with them full of dog poo. I was about to say that it was funny that she refused to come to your wedding because she thinks COVID is a hoax. Surely that would make her insist on coming. I think she, in normal times, underestimates how 14 more people at a wedding costs. Also, as a parent of less than 14 kids, it's already hard to find babysitting during a pandemic. But they don't believe in COVID, so it may not be the same for them. Polite and to the point. A most excellent thank you if I've ever seen one. Ontario, eh? I'm sorry, but your aunt gave you measuring spoons for a wedding gift. Why even have the wedding? My fiancé and I were supposed to get married in August 2020. We decided against it, and are waiting until it can be a stress-free time. Def petty. Sad how people can't just be supportive. Having my wedding in May. Praying it will go safely. Feet COVID. Oh yes, I could be absolute best friends with for this. I love COVID wedding. Not only it's efficient but also we get to avoid these kind of people. Hey ha, when I said thank you for taking precautions, I think people thought I was saying it sarcastically, but I actually meant it. Sorry for the confusion. If the wedding was outdoors and there was room to separate the chairs, you could have safely invited your cousins. If it wasn't safe for them, it wasn't safe for the other 50. Your decision was made due to blind compliance to the government, not in the interest of safety. It's pretty hypocritical to talk speep about your aunt for not being worried about COVID while having a wedding. Depending on infection rates, etc., smaller gatherings are okay. If they're already at the 50-person legal limit, then it's perfectly acceptable not to allow another 12 guests. I wouldn't want my wedding shut down, or a big fine, because I was pressured into inviting some extra guests. The only reason for having a 50-person limit is to limit the chances of someone having COVID attending to 50 people. It's still a 50-person risk, and it's these decisions that are the reason we still have around 4,000 people dying daily in the US. If everybody takes the small chance, we're still screwed. Hosting a wedding of even 50 people is reckless. OP acknowledged this risk by saying, thankfully, nobody got sick. Yeah, but they could have, and it wouldn't have been worth it. OP didn't say where they are. That's true. From context, though, it doesn't sound like a place that has COVID under control, though, so my point still applies, even though I use the US as an example.